Hey Stones fans, today's lesson is Sweet Virginia from Exile on Main Street album. Pretty cool tune because it has a lot of Keith's kind of acoustic trademarks that he was doing during that period. Pretty typical of his playing back then. Although the one thing that's not typical is its standard tuning at the 2nd fret. So he wasn't doing a whole lot in standard tuning on the acoustic back then, but for this one he was. And most of the song is just like the intro with little variations of it, so we'll spend most of the time going through the intro. And then I'll kind of run through it now and then break it down. Then it goes into the vocal. So it starts off in G. And the first 3 notes are hitting the D, G, and B strings. Whoops, make sure your B's in tune. So you got your G chord fingered like that, and you should finger it probably using these. If you usually finger it like that, or if you usually play, like I usually do on acoustic, I'll play that B string at the 3rd fret to hit the D note on the G chord, but don't do it on this one. So you'll want to finger it with these and just do a 3-fingered G chord, because you're going back and forth between. It's just makes more sense to do it that way. So you start off with those 3, D, G, B. You're halfway home. You do those 3. So that's hammer on the D string, hammer on the D string at the 2nd fret, and then hit D chord. And then it's hit that 2nd fret, we'll call it 2nd fret from the capo. 2nd fret on the E string with your thumb to hit that F sharp, because that's the thing that Keith did a lot back then anyway. When he was playing, if he play a D chord on acoustic, he'd often use that 2nd fret. It's the same note as this, but he would play it the high D, the high F sharp note and the low one, both, so he could do stuff like. So he did a lot of that stuff. You'll hear it on like Country Honk and this one and a few others, where he would kind of walk it up there. So it goes. That's just hitting the A string at the 3rd fret for a C note. Back to a G. And then, so C, regular C chord, then hit the A string at the 2nd fret. You're kind of walking it like that. But one thing he does in this song, and again it's another one of the things that he does in a lot of his acoustic songs of that time, when he hits a C chord, he's always hammering on every time he hits a C, and I'm pretty sure it's every time in this song. And I think in my other video I didn't do it because I'm lazy, but if you want to play it just like him, you should probably do it. But every time he hits a C, he hammers on that D string at the 2nd fret. So far we got this. That's how it starts. Whoops. Make sure you hit the D string and not the A string. So that's A string walking up to that C. So you walk up the A string. So I'm doing A, G, those 2 strings. like that. Walk up C to the 3rd fret. And then once you hit that C, you got to hammer on that D string at the 2nd fret. Wait a second. Oh yeah, yeah, that's how it goes. Then walk down to A7. That's just a 2-fingered A7 with the G string open. So C, A7, and then walk up the E string from 0 fret to 2nd fret to 3rd on that E, on the G. Same thing again. To A7, walk up to G. That's the 2nd time through. Again. To A7. Do it again, and then this time it's. So that's hammer on A string at the 2nd fret, then hit the G string. Then do the same thing on the D string. And remember, you're going up to the C chord, so you have to hammer that on again. Back down to G. So hammer on that D again, and then hit the open. Hammer on the D string at the 2nd fret, and then hit the open G string. And then D, G. So that's. So again, that's hammer on the A string, hit open G string, hammer on the D string, hit the open G again. Again, remember he's doing that when he hits that D. That's an open A string back to G. So that's the whole thing. I'll do it real slow. Hold on. Right here, here it really is. Walk up to G, walk up to C, hammer that on, back down to A7, walk up to G, again, to C, down to A7, G, and then it goes. Vocal comes in, and the only real difference is he does up to C. So when it starts with that first vocal line, you do and hit that open E string, open E, then B string at the 3rd fret, and then off, then it's your regular C chord. So it's not much different from the intro, except he does those little embellishments. That's just an A7, and then he'll go back and forth between a standard A7, then he'll play with it like. That's another typical thing he would do on acoustic songs when he would play an A7. He'd go back and forth between covering that high A note, and then go 2 frets down to an A7. So make it a regular A major, then back to an A7. He'd go back and forth between them. So sometimes it would be, you know, that kind of stuff. So just do whatever feels right to you there. And then, so that's a regular G. Another reason why you want to use these fingers to play the G, because to do this G to G7 thing, So you want to be able to do that style. And that's really all the verses. And the chords are the same as the intro. So the main thing on the verse is whatever noodling feels good to you, or whatever you hear on the record, you can fiddle around with it. But that's really the whole song. The key, I think, is the non-open tuning, standard tuning, and capo at the 2nd fret, and that should really get you through it. But you really gotta sit down with it and fiddle around with those, all that kind of hammer-on stuff to really get a feel for it. But you know, if you've been playing for a little while and you know G, C, A7, and D, you could learn this one in an hour if you just give it a little bit of time and really listen to what he's doing. Good luck with it. Send me a message if you don't pick it up.